We live in one of the most beautiful places on the planet, and it is often a backdrop for movies, commercials. But you might have noticed during this pandemic, well, the entire film industry has been limited to working from home too. No lights, no camera, no action. For how long? Well, our next guest is Susannah Greason Robbins, Executive Director of the San Francisco Film Commission, otherwise known as Film SF. Hi, Susannah. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So, Susannah, how have things changed since we went into sheltering in place here?
Oh, they've really changed a lot. Obviously, right now with shelter in place, we have not been doing any permitting, any filming in San Francisco. My staff, my office is myself and three other wonderful women who do all the permits for productions. We're all working remotely. And actually, my staff has been working as DSW, disaster working helpers in the city doing triage coordination. So really, for our office, it's very different. Um, we're also seeing, a huge difference than where we were last year at this time. Last year, between middle of March and middle of May, we had over 127 permits that we were working on. And we had over 230 shoot days. This same time this year, zero. So it's a big difference.
What does that mean in terms of the fiscal year? How big of an impact has that had just on the city of San Francisco in general?
Well, for filming, fiscal year wise, compared to last year, we're down 35% in the total number of permits that we issue. We're down 46% in the number of shoot days, and we're down 45% in the number of permit fees. So it's really huge. Last fiscal year, we had a really good year. We had over, I'm trying to think of the numbers again. I'm so sorry. We had productions that we worked with that had estimated budgets over $33 million. They
Wow.
had over 6,000 hotel nights during last fiscal year, so really benefiting our hotels, and then the hotel tax, which the arts then thrive off of. And we had over 8,000 cast and crew being hired on these productions. So it's a really big drop this year.
Yeah. Were there any movies or commercials that were on the calendar that we've put on hold but might come back?
Yeah, luckily, we've been talking with a Marvel production that wants to shoot about 10 days in San Francisco. Initially, they were going to be prepping and then shooting in early June. And we're still talking to them about trying to shoot this in late July. But a lot of it will depend on the size of the crews that we're allowed to permit then. Because right now it's very limited. We have recently just opened up our permit applications, but in order to be able to work with us, you have to be able to have a cast and crew that's 10 people or less. So with a big production like this Marvel shoot, they're going to need a lot more than 10 people.
You're really encouraging people to come and shoot, though, in San Francisco, right? Those crews of 10 people or fewer. What are some of the upsides to coming to the San Francisco Bay Area versus going to Hollywood or New York to shoot?
Well, so right now you can't shoot in Hollywood and you can't shoot in New York. So that's one of the biggest advantages is that we are open for permitting. And I don't know when they're going to open up. It's kind of up in the air right now. But in addition to the fact that we are able to permit these productions, I mean, look at San Francisco. It is so beautiful. Who wouldn't want to film here? We have, the ocean views. We have neighborhoods that look like suburbs in mid-America. We have a post-industrial section on the east side of town. I'm trying to get my geography right. We just have such beautiful architecture, and it's really a director's dream. There's amazing views everywhere, our hills, our bay. Everything about San Francisco is so cinematic. So people do want to film here. And then there's a
It
lot of other
truly
reasons why they
is.
might want to come. Yeah.
That's right. It truly is one of the most iconic places. You instantly know. You see that wide shot. You see the Golden Gate Bridge in the background, or the Bay Bridge, or Transamerica Building, Golden Gate Park. You instantly know where you are. The Victorian homes. So many wonderful scenes to think about, and different movies and production shot in the San Francisco Bay Area. I understand you have another incentive, some sort of financial rebate for people who choose to come to this area versus one of the other
Mhm.
areas. Tell me about
Yeah,
that.
so we have something called the Scene in San Francisco Rebate Program, and it's an incentive for feature films and television productions, web series, documentaries. And basically, we rebate up to $600,000 per film or television show. And basically, it's a rebate of any fees they pay with any city agency. So it could be our permit fees with Film SF, it could be the permit fees with Rec and Park, or street closure fees, or up to 4 police officers a day for a 12-hour a day. And it even includes rental of production office space and stage space if it's done
Mm.
through our city real estate agency. So it's really an amazing incentive for productions, and it can be combined state tax credit as well if they're lucky enough to get that. So, and the way it briefly works is if your budget is under $3 million, you need to shoot 55% of your shoot days in San Francisco. And if it's over 3 million, you have to shoot 65% here. And then basically it's a 100% cash back rebate, a few weeks after production wraps, of any fees you've spent with any city agency in San Francisco.
I know that Treasure Island's a popular spot too for filming. Tell me a little bit more about what's available on the Treasure Island side of the bridge.
Well, we're really fortunate. Not long ago, the hangar there, Hangar 3, which was used for years for productions back in the 90s, recently became available again for productions to base there and build sets. And there is a almost 70,000 square foot hangar with 63 or 68-foot clearance to the ceiling. I mean, it's just enormous, and it's wonderful for productions to be able to build their sets and base out of. There's plenty of parking. There's over 11,000 square feet of office space. So we're really excited to have that back, because for many years it was occupied with other businesses, and it was recently leased by Film Treasure Island that is now turning around and leasing it to productions. And we're just so excited to have that resource again.
Do you think that this pandemic, living through this, surviving this, plus technology, the fact that you can do so much filming just from the newest iPhones, do you think that these kind of combined will change the face of the film industry going forward?
I really do. There's so much discussion about how to keep things simpler, and maybe productions don't need these enormous crews to get the work done that they need to do. I was talking to a commercial producer the other day who's trying to figure out how to do one of the first commercials we might be able to work with here in the city. And they're doing things like remote casting. They're for this time now, because there are such huge restrictions in place, they're having the cast pull wardrobe out of their own, showing it to the director, and if they don't like it, then they're going to send them something to wear. And they're also having some of their cast do makeup tutorials, do their own makeup. Now, I mean, hopefully going forward, we're going to have all of those departments working again on a production, but I just think it's really amazing how innovative people are being right now.
What's been the biggest change for you personally throughout this pause?
Oh boy, well, being at home every day, I'd say that
Yeah.
changed. Initially, it was really hard to get used to. I have a partner who works from home. I have 2 teenagers who are here doing their last semester of high school remotely, and it's been quite a juggle. But I feel like after the first 2 or 3 weeks, we all kind of got into a groove and knew who had what space, and so that's been interesting. And then, really, for me, I've done so many webinars and conferences like we're doing today remotely, and it's been really interesting using this new technology in a way that I used to not use it at all. So I'm really enjoying that aspect of it.
Susannah, Greason, Robbins, thank you so much for taking time out to let us know about what's happening with the film commission and the film industry here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Thank you so much, and we
Thank you.
hope to see everything back up and running very, very soon.
Yeah, me too. I love being here. Thanks.
Okay, David, top 10 San Francisco Bay Area based films. Okay, just top one.